Imagine if the most powerful company in the world accidentally registered itself as a charity. It wouldn't be all bad. Non-profit status is pretty good in America. Mega pastors flourish in tax-free churches. CEOs of enormous charities get $1 million a year. But there are some things you can't do. You can't share your profits with shareholders, and you can't donate to political campaigns. If Meta or X were registered as non-profits, their owners would be less rich and much less powerful. So Sam Altman has a problem. Altman has the classic tech whiz kid biography. He dropped out of Stanford before graduating, then he launched a briefly useful app called Looped. His most impressive achievement was raising over $30 million for the startup. This fundraising knack made him attractive to other tech startups, and he moved through several before founding OpenAI as a non-profit side project with a group of other interested parties. The official purpose of OpenAI was to create tools which benefit humanity, but as the capabilities of AI models grew, Altman began to shift his focus away from his other companies. In 2019, he made his CEO role at OpenAI full-time. This quickly paid off. Within a couple of months, he had raised another $1 billion. The revolutionary chatbot Chat-GPT launched 3 years later. Altman's fame reached a new level. Once a well-known face within the startup industry, he was now a global celebrity. In 2023, he conducted a world tour, meeting governments from India to the UK. But all was not well back home. At Looped, Altman had twice escaped being fired for deceptive and chaotic behavior. At OpenAI, the board quickly realized they had been misled about the release of ChatGPT and Altman's ownership of the startup fund. A CEO has to be held accountable to the board. Instead, the board was being lied to and intimidated. 2 board members submitted evidence of psychological abuse from Altman. The board decided to fire Altman. A colleague once said Altman had Elon Musk-like energy, and his response to the firing was a lot like Musk. Immediately, he began pulling every string he had to get back his role. Hundreds of employees signed a petition to retain him. The board later said many people who signed were scared of Altman. But then members of the board began to go back on their accusations. Within a few days, negotiations for his return had started. Most members of the board resigned. The firing backfired massively. Altman was able to secure his control of the organization. Like recognizers like other tech CEOs like Musk started to see Altman as a potential threat. Musk attacked OpenAI's biggest remaining weakness, its non-profit status. Altman was just interested in money, not the benefit of humanity, he argued. Altman doesn't want to fight a battle for the moral high ground like this. He is rumored to be trying to buy the OpenAI startup from the non-profit, apparently for the price of about $40 billion. A couple weeks later, Musk offered to buy it for $97 billion, putting Altman in a very difficult position. As a non-profit, the OpenAI board has a responsibility to consider the highest bid, leaving Altman $60 billion short if he's looking to make the company fully for profit. And as the billionaires publicly battle it out, there is a much darker underbelly to this war. In 2024, Sudhir Balaji quit his job at OpenAI after he realized he was training it with copyrighted material. He posted about it online before mysteriously dying alone in his apartment. In 2025, an independent autopsy found that murder was a more likely hypothesis. The AI boom is chaotic, and agents of chaos, like Sam Altman, flourish. Sitting just out of sight are world governments trying to get their share of the new technology. Plug, baby, plug, said France's president at an AI conference. Governments are being encouraged to avoid making rules that limit AI companies. Regulation will stifle the boom. But is that really wise? 200 years ago, the global boom was colonial trading companies. The British East India Company, for example, grew to be the largest in the world, taking over much of India and funding its own private army. It forced out competitors and punished its enemies, but that unregulated chaos came back to bite in a massive mutiny, forcing a government intervention. AI, which promises so much for ordinary people, also offers new and untapped sources of power, and the silent war for ChatGPT is just a small picture of what the future may hold. Hi, it's Arthur. Thanks for watching this video. What do you think about the ideas discussed in it? If you'd like to talk about it some more, you can come and join me on Discord. Oh, and don't forget to like and subscribe.